I believe there is no song for now. Yeah, guys, I believe the YouTube failed to deliver audio, so no worries. I believe we just started like it is. So, hey everyone, I'm sorry, here it's Komeka team, and we have amazing team today on our Twitter space. And you may ask why it's so early. Usually we start 6 hours later, but we're in Web3, and everybody here is a nomads living around the world. So we have to be flexible with that. And yeah, so we have today legendary team of legends.fun, and you probably have heard a lot of them about them from us because a lot of builders participated in Legends Fun dashboards. And I'm happy to welcome you guys today. How are you?
Yeah, man. Thank you for having us. It's We're absolutely thrilled to be able to have a chat and discover maybe like the team from Kumika. So no, super happy to be here.
Cool.
Yeah, same here, Siri. Thank you for having us. You guys really made it amazing on the Legends.fun for the hackathon with like 38 teams listed. And it was really cool to work together on those activations to help builders get visibility. And so happy to be here today to share more insights or anything you will ask us.
Cool. It was actually a great pleasure because we've been doing that for the last 2 years at least, participating in Colosseum Hackathon. And all the time there was something missing there, right? Because a lot of teams getting highlighted by being winners of the hackathon. But in between, people had no chance to communicate. Probably some weak tries to reach on Twitter, some teams. Finally, Colosseum created Discord this year, and that was a one opportunity to connect and to show highlight your project somehow. But then you popped up with a perfect platform, giving opportunity to have a visibility months ago the hackathon announced. And before we dive deeper into that, I would love to short intro of you guys because you have a impressive background. In the announcement, we like mentioned that you guys preferred 12 teams who were winning the Colosseum or getting a place in Colosseum. You are doing professionally the pitch. You are learning pitching in a professional way, and you are advising a lot of projects. And you are like really Solana OGs. So a short intro from you, Ansel, first, and then you, Sofian, would be great.
Yeah, sure. No, absolutely. So yeah, I'm Ansel. I've been in Solana since 2021. I think I started to play around with Solana in June of 2021. Building some programs and trading platforms. And like I think when the NFT wave came in like September, October of 2021, I just left my old company. I sold my shares to my co-founder, right? And I went full time on Solana. And I was, pretty much sure it was the thing to do, the good thing to do. And since then, I've been, trying to help as many teams as I can, building products here and there. And it's been like, it's been a really cool ride. And I guess just before that, what I was doing, I was already building companies. I've been doing that for the last 13 years, actually. Like my first company was built with Sofian 13 years ago, if you can believe that, which is kind of crazy. It was more like, service companies around like, how do we help the large companies of Europe kind of get on the wagon of like, the new digital way of doing things. So building applications, helping them on like communication and everything. Yeah, but I'm feeling much better to be on Solana full time now. I can assure you of that.
Probably Solana is really happy to have you. Yeah, what about you, Sofian?
Yes, so I'm Sofian. No, it's really interesting story that we have with Ansel. Like we are friends since middle school. Like we literally grew up together, and we started our first business together. We're like 23 in France, and then we split ways for like 10 years. So I did a few other companies recently, before DPitch, I was mostly helping startups from Asia to go global with governments of Korea, of Singapore, and so on. And yeah, the funny story is that we were traveling as a broad trip with Ansel, and he was submitting his last product, Tokamai, for Colosseum. And I was working on my business, he was working on this product, but then the pitch time arrived. So I was like, okay, I need to do this pitch. And so I was like, I'm training many teams to pitch in my business. I'm like, okay, you know what? Let's just lock us in for 2 days and make sure like you have the best pitch possible. So basically, I became the pitch coach for Ansel. Ansel like was working the pitch. And then what was crazy happened, like he won the hackathon. Soon later, I joined him to help on the marketing on Tokamai, and then we built DPitch. And DPitch was really amazing, actually. It was like just giving alpha about what is a good pitch, and we realized it was really a missing framework and part for many builders that really had no ideas about how to do it well. So we started to do, free master classes with a lot of communities, super teams, training teams. Like even the last Colosseum, I trained 40 teams, for example. And yeah, it worked for some of them. Like they won, they got funded, and I was so proud to kind of bring something very niche, very specific, but very needed. And that was the entry point. And then how we moved and added Legends.fun is that many teams came with a pitch, but they had no traction. So we will talk about this today, traction, I think. But without saying much, basically, we wanted to build something that helped them show their progress, connect with their users, and really be out there. As you said in the intro, Seri, being able to have a space to really spotlight what they're doing, how they're growing, and to unlock more opportunities.
Cool, that's the perfect intro. And actually, just right before the space, guys shared that there is a new dashboard for Student Hackathon. I applied myself. It's still open for registration. You probably can apply whenever you can, but as earliest the better. So guys, you have a crazy opportunity. We'll share it after the space. And before we go to Legends, let's break down a little bit about the pitch, because I've heard a lot of good stuff about this. As you mentioned, some of our teams won your kind of competition, and as a prize, they got pitching on the super team page on Twitter, and also they got a masterclass on pitching. And even the most experienced guys from our builders, they said, well, it was cool. We noted something for us, and we changed a few slides of our pitch. And that's guys who actually were training our teams during the acceleration program, and they are really experienced. So if they found something cool in your program, that means a lot. And we asked them, can we share that? No, you cannot. You can only win this opportunity. So maybe you can spill some alpha for our builders on that.
Yeah, thank you for the words.
Yeah, how they can actually get access to the pitch workshops, or how can they connect with you to get some advices or master classes?
Yeah, cool. I will share on that, and then I will share about how to do a good pitch, like in a very short version. So we have this website, dpitch.academy, where on the blog there are a few articles we wrote about like the advice to do a good pitch, and you can find also previous masterclasses, videos, and content. So it's like a first exposure to the framework. Then during hackathons or even programs, we're always happy to hop in and do masterclass for the program. Like next week, we'll do one for Magic Block Incubator, for instance. So basically, if you're in a program, if you're in a community like Kumeka or Super Team, it's usually where you can get access to the full masterclass. And then we have a Twitter pitch in public, like a community. And basically, anyone can join, and anyone can post their Loom there. And then I will check, and other of our alumni will check and give some quick feedback on the pitch. Then we have some like one-on-one coaching, and this is like the business model of the pitch. But for like free access, I would say the masterclass and the blog and post your pitch and get trusted.
Yeah, that's actually a real lot, because the only problem we usually have with new projects that people are actually afraid to get a feedback. And I hope with the next hackathon, more people will be ready to be, roasted hard, and make the most out of this collaboration. I hope we will have you next season to pitch roast some of our teams and and help them to make the best pitches possible. And what, from your perspective, in 1 minute, maybe less, what is the best agenda for your pitch, and what are the biggest mistakes people usually do while pitching?
So basically, the pitch is like entertainment. So it's not just going from one slide to another. You need to have a story. You need to be there, to have the presence. It's a show. It's like watching a YouTube video. So you don't want people to scroll. You don't want people to go to next video, right? So you need to think like that. It's not because they watch your video that they will watch it through the end. So every 30 seconds, you need something like a cool transition, a cool wow effect, or something surprising that the audience wants to know what's next. It's like a very intense story that you will rhythm with impact. Then the structure is basically what you need is always the same. You need what you're doing, what's your concept, what's the problem you solve, your solution, how does it work, like a few features, demo. Then the business part. So what's your market, what's your business model, what's your early traction, your team, your roadmap, and then you wrap it up. And with a strong call to action. Usually you want them to have more of the experience if they want. So you usually have a QR code going to your demo, to a video, to a call with you, depending on what's best. And that's it. So that's what to do. And then once you have those key elements and you practice, then you can have the flexibility to, move with your voice, with your body, and create some effects. I usually say that it's like learning a sport or learning the guitar. When you start, you cannot do much than just focusing on, the very basics. But once you become good, you can read the game in the tennis court, you can sing over the guitar, and that's exactly the same with the pitch. So first you master the basics, then you can play with it. You can change some parts. The right order doesn't need to be followed. It depends on how you want to create effects, right? But you can afford to do that once you become good already. What not to do? There are many things what not to do. Basically, you need some very clear slides, something simple. I think people overcomplexify pitch. They make a lot of videos inside, or it goes too fast because they assume people know. But it's the first time that we discover you, that we discover your brand. So you need to go slow. You need to get me slowly to your brand, who you are, and I need to have time to breathe and to follow. So it's not about putting all the content in because you're so proud of what you did in 5 weeks. You need to select what's going to be very impactful, what's going to make you different, and to finish with, what will the judge or the VC or the meeting people in front of you will remember of you? If there is one thing, what would it be in one sentence? And you need to strategize that and to build your pitch around that, because they will not magically remember something that you didn't plan. It's like prepared and it's an exercise. So you need to think about that. You need to create something cool about, oh my God, that's the team who got this investment, or that unlocked this really cool, KPI or metrics. How did they do that, right? So something like that. Like you want to impress, but at the same time, of course, you need to be very strong with your early traction. That's why I see team building the MVP in the last week of a hackathon, for instance, and they go with a pitch with very low traction, like, oh, we have X followers, we have a wait list, and people are excited to try next month when we launch. But it's really hard to convince if you're just at this stage. So it's better to anticipate, start a bit earlier, and use the hackathon framework to maximize your traction, to iterate the MVP, and to come up with something very strong. I could speak for hours, so please stop me. In short, that's what a good pitch is and what not to do.
That's what a good pitch is. That's for sure. If I can just add one thing, but I guess it's like linked to the next subject. But I think like the issue is that when you do a hackathon, like a classic hackathon, it's usually like 1 or 2 days where you have to try to build something, but you don't care about users or anything because you don't have time in 24, 48 hours to build and test. But I mean, the Solana hackathon is like it's like 6 weeks, I think. Like you should be able to build something, even if it's not finished, even if it's not perfect. You should be able to build something and test it with people. I think this is what's expected in the Solana hackathon right now.
Yeah, actually, I like that the name hackathon is shifting slowly to startup competition, and it gives a deeper understanding of what actually is expected from the builders. It's you are not building to build, you are building the product to deliver some value in the future, and that's an amazing thing about it. And Sofian, I believe we will cut your part on videos and post it somewhere as a masterclass on the one how to pitch your product. And
Okay.
I expect that Ansel can do some cool masterclass on pitching the Legends of Fun, and you can make it in a shorter form than it was for Colosseum, but it will be helpful for our people to see how it be done professionally, and it will give some understanding and background for our next topic. We'll dive deeper into Legends of Fun. So Ansel, can you do some masterclass on pitching for now?
So you want me to explain like what pitching is for me, or?
No, I want you to pitch Legends.fun.
Okay.
Explain how it works, what it's about.
No, I mean that's a very good test. I'm absolutely not prepared for that.
Elevator pitch in its finest.
Okay. All right. So when you build a startup on Solana, it feels like anything is possible, right? You get massive support from the community, from Solana itself, and you have this hackathon twice a year where you can just build a product, have a lot of people excited about your product, and test it out. And we have 15,000 builders that join the ecosystem every year. They want to be the next Pump, the next Jupiter, but we know that only 1% of those builders will make it to a fully fundable, sustainable, and scalable company. So what's up with the other 99%, right? Well, at Legends.fun, we think that anyone can be a Solana legend. And what does that mean, right? Is that wherever you are, it's possible to build a company that can really make it to Solana. But I think that we need to break the seasonality of Solana. It's not just during the hackathon. It's not just like 10 winners every 6 months. We need to have something that's much more sustainable over the long term, over 12 months, over the whole year. And that's why we built Legends.fun. And yeah, it's really hard to improvise.
Let me jump in and do the second part.
Teamwork.
And so we built Legend.fun. Basically, Legends, it's like a platform with a few leaderboards that you can list your product and start to get visibility. The more you climb the leaderboard, the better visibility you get. If you climb onto the top of the week, you can get up to 500, 1,000 views on your product page. So really good visibility. What's important with Legends is that it allows you to really put what the judges want to see and what the VCs want to see. So you will put your traction and update it every week so that we really see how you're growing, and it's transparent and it's really freshly updated. That's one. And second, you will be able to complete your founder's card with all your experience, credibility, because that's also what the VCs look for early stage companies, even more than products for some of them, as they shared. So that's what you can do. And then we have a lot of gamification activations like we did for the Super Legend Battle that you got made super cool. You were onto the top. And then it helps the communities also to motivate their builders to create this sense of let's win together. We're all together in this. The more the community is on the leaderboard, the more all the builders will benefit from the visibility, etc. So that's Legends.fun. I will not go in the business model and more, but basically, we have a few audiences. The builders, we want to give them the best visibility. We have the VCs and the judges. We want to give them the best tool to judge and to score and to scout the best companies. And then slowly create more partnerships. We have a few exciting news for next month, but we want to have, as Ansel said, more seasonality. So we want to build some monthly activation that people will have the chance to get exposed to the top launchpads, top VCs in the ecosystem. To really fast track their access to something that not anyone can have. If you're in Kumeka team, if you're in a super team, you can kind of have insider tips and access, but many people are still not on those communities. And we want everyone to have a fair, same access to the top decision makers for their company growth. So we're building this layer of transparency, visibility, and fairness for everyone who really delivers something cool and strong traction to access like what they deserve, in a sense, like to unlock what they need for their growth.
Perfect.
And that's
I believe that speech is really worth to get at least some price at Colosseum. And when we first saw it, I believe it was somewhere on Twitter. I just enter your website, and I'm like scrolling down, and I see that you have the page with all of the mentors that will be helping projects later. And I'm like, wow, that's some big names, and these guys are building something cool. Then I checked Ansel page, like, wow, this guy won hackathon, and they're building something to help everybody else. And what I kept in mind for the next months is was how these people that mentioned on the page of mentors like will be used later. And I came to Komeka team and say, guys, probably it will be something cool, and these people will somehow help, and let's try to get some leaderboard spots. And first, we were really impressed with the prize as featured on Super Team page, and it was awesome. But can you break down for us how these mentors will be used later? Is it possible to get some more exposures for projects or connection with DAOs? Or how does it gonna work?
Sofiane, is that like a massive spoiler, or do we want to go for it? Like, do you want to talk about a spoiler? Like, do you want to talk about what we have in mind for the mentors, or what do you mean?
Okay, I will do the first version, and then you can do the spoiler. So how does the mentors work? So yeah, we are very lucky that we are joined by exceptional mentors. So how they help is like when they find a cool product and they click upvote, they have a 5 times upvote. So it really helps push the product up. But more importantly, all of them, like we have kind of a mentors charter, and we of course co-created with them. They are super interested to discover new products and to help new products. Of course, it's a win-win. Like for them, it's interesting. Maybe you can scout for their own programs or for their own projects and so on and collaborate. Of course, that's totally open. But they are super happy usually to answer many products that ask them for advice, ask them to go on a quick chat. And that's why we're building this mentor space. But we'll be so happy to have more mentors from your Komeka OGs and expanding the network, because the more we are, the better. To support those projects, because I have so many projects, more than 400 now. So we're totally open to expand. And Ansel will give you the next step of this.
Yeah, so I think there is that. We also, for example, like when we did the demo day, so basically we had this demo day a couple weeks back, I think, with the top 10 super team of our super team leaderboard for the hackathon, and we picked the first product for each of the super team, and they had a demo day where they pitched what they built, and the jury was actually the mentors of Legends.fun, and those are the people who ranked and said, okay, this team is good at this team is good at that, and the final ranking was actually done by the mentors. So that's the first activation we had with them. And what we are going to be starting, I think, in January, is we are going to do like a Legend.fun show every month, or maybe twice a month, where we're going to be picking the top teams of the month, and they will be coming to pitch in front of all of our partners and mentors. And the idea is to say, like, we want to build kind of a Shark Tank, but for the Solana companies, so that they can come in, pitch their product, have a lot of partners in front of us, like Launchpad, all of that. And they can decide who they want to work with for either raising money or doing a token launch. And so yeah, this is also going to be the massive activation for mentors in the next few months. Yeah,
it's an amazing idea. It's just, wow. Actually, when we are at this pre-hackathon stage, we all the time looking where to put the team to pitch so they can test a little bit to fix all the mistakes and so on and so on. And it's always a huge problem, because you can pick somewhere. Let's say we had guys from different DAOs, and they come and they, okay, this is a problem, you can fix, and then leave. And we can showcase just few products a month or once every 2 months, and it's only for the best, because you cannot say, hey, let's check the pitches of 100 teams we have, because it's massive, it's time consuming. And having this model is probably even more rewarding for people than participating in Colosseum twice a year. Does Colosseum see you as a competitor, or are you planning to work somehow connected and deliver some good projects together?
Interesting question. No, for definitely our goal is to bring something new to the ecosystem and bring value to the players. So definitely not a competitor. We're not going to organize hackathon, and for now we're not going to have a fund that will invest in teams. And I think that's why for us it's very easy to create partnerships, because we help to select by traction, and we expose to opportunities, but we don't invest, we don't help to do TGE. And for that reason, all those players are usually happy to collab with us, because we can filter out the top teams, and actually for them it's really good value. So that's how we want to play it. Then of course we'll see. We also submitted Legends.fund for this Colosseum as a participating team as well. So basically we'll see what's going to happen in December 11th, and where it will take us about how to collaborate.
Yeah, I hope to see you on the list, because it's really something interesting. It's a new layer of highlighting, actually. And last year, nobody thought of this, and it was nothing similar to Legends. And this year, I already saw a few other teams building similar products, and I think it's great. So you will have to somebody to work with to compete, and so on and so on. The next question I actually had is, you mentioned that you had to watch over 400 pitches, and as well as the Colosseum team will have to go through 1,500 pitches as well. Have you noticed some narratives that most like this year? What people are building and what is going to be successful next year, in your opinion? So what narratives are the most performing now on Solana and might be performing next year?
I mean, Sofian, do you have something to say, or?
I have something on the format, and maybe you can say on the products category. Basically, what's not in terms of product, but in terms of what works, is if you have something unusual and unexpected that doesn't resemble anything else. So, for instance, this year you had a lot of training apps, last year as well, and so if most of those pitches start with, our trading is difficult, so we cannot onboard Web2 users, and blah blah blah, and we are going to revolutionize that with social trading and vibe trading. So it's totally cool to do that, obviously, but it's just about how you present it. Like, if you start with a problem that it's the same angle as all of your competitors, it's going to be super hard to stand out. So I think it's also, I will use this opportunity of this question to share. It's also about being able to see what others are doing and trying to differentiate, because I think that's what builders, they are in their small bubble during the hackathon. Sometimes they forget there is more than 1,000 products, and they just go full on without checking what's the competition. And that's what I think they should do if they want to succeed in their category. So then for the trends thing, like it's super hard to share in the future what's going to work this year, what's going to work next. I think that's more on the Colosseum team that make this kind of orientations than us. We're more like neutral in this. But maybe, Ansel, you want to add some on that?
No, I think that's exactly what I was going to say. It's so hard to predict anything. I think, like, when you've spent a lot of time building companies, the one thing you know is that you don't know. Like, there is no way to know what's going to work or not. Like, one of the few teams that I really had like faith in, like in the last year, was Hilo. I think everybody knows Hilo now. They won the hackathon alongside me, and so we had a lot of time to chat. But even then, I was like, wow, that's really ambitious. Like, the thing that they need to build and the kind of community they need to put together, it's really ambitious. But it worked. It's hard to say why and exactly why, but it worked, and people are super excited. And I think most of the time it's hard to really see trends. The trends that you see is like Sofian said, is that many people build the same thing, and it's interesting. But knowing what will work is, if I knew, I would build them right now.
But anyway, Ansel, as a founder, what's your approach to find the perfect idea to build, to execute, and go with your project? Because you have a good traction, you already won a hackathon, and you build a great platform this time again. So what's your approach to find the perfect idea?
Yeah, I mean, I think the main stuff that we should do as founders is just to build all the time. You don't know how many ideas I've built on Solana that never worked, never got like 10 users. But I think what's important is to keep building, going to events, talking with people, see what's going on, identify some pain points. That's the big thing. Then try to build something around those pain points. Sometimes you realize there were actually not real pain points and people don't really care. But I think what happens with Legends.fund, for example, is that it was just a proof by traction. Like we just put it out there. We were like, well, we think it's a cool idea. Let's see what people think. And then we had a lot of visitors. And then we knew that there was an actual need. You get people from all across the ecosystem, people people you kind of know, that tells you, man, that's cool. I was looking for a tool like that. That's when you get validation. But I think what's important is to be able to not be, fall in love with your idea. It's just one idea. Most of the time, it's temporary, and just try to build it and be super frank with yourself about like, is it working or is it not working? And if it's not working, maybe you need to kill it to be able to find the next one that might work. I think that's how I approach it. Like most of the success stories we hear about this overnight success. Most of the time, there is a long trail of that project behind the founder that we don't really talk about. Yeah, that's what I say.
Yeah, that's true. We mention really often the story of Pump Fund founders. They had like 9 failed projects, and then 11th or 12th just skyrocketed. And that's a normal thing. And that's something to be inspired on, because every time you try, you fail, and you got upset. And every time you think, okay, probably is the last time I was trying to build something. But no, you just keep going, building, and someday you will get better, and people will notice you. You will skyrocket as well. And speaking of skyrocketing and building this founder's journey, what is the best way with all of the tools we have for now for newcomers on the Solana ecosystem? How they can start from scratch? What do they do? And maybe you have some advice on that.
You mean in terms of tool to build products, or
building product, becoming founder, or even joining the ecosystem as a professional at some point?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the tools that we use in Solana are very similar to the tools that we use in Web2 in the startup ecosystem. I think in technical terms, I think there is like a pretty good basis for building products on Solana right now. So that's not very challenging. I mean, it's challenging to build on Solana, of course, but choosing the product, the tools are not very challenging. Then I think what's important is to know before you start what you're after. So for example, with Sofiane, we had some metrics that we had in mind that we wanted to reach that would mean success for us on the product. Then you need to measure that. So you need to have some analytics in place from day one. The moment that someone lands on your website, you need to know how many of them come, what do they do they stay or not on the website. So I think analytics is super important, and many teams don't do it, and I think that's a big problem. Then I would say it's important to do a lot of networking from day one too. You want to talk to other programmers, you want to talk to other founders too. That's crucial. You want to go to events, you want to go to your super team, ask for connection by your super team. You really want to be everywhere all at once for these 6 weeks. I mean, Sofiane can keep going after that, but I think like with Sofiane, we were absolutely exhausted at the end of the 6 weeks because we just went all in on everything: networking, programming, community building, like everything. We just we could not have done better, I think. And that would be the alpha for me, is that you need to have a battle plan before you start and then execute on it. I think we started like early September. 12 days after we had the platform ready, we started to onboard some alpha, some early adopters on the platform to make sure it was working. When the hackathon started, we already had people on the app. We already had some traction, and on the date the hackathon started, everything exploded. And I think that's also, like you said, Sherry, it's very important to say it's a startup competition. It's not a builder competition. So the goal is to prove traction, to prove that you can sell something, that you can create value. It's not to show that you can write some sexy lines of code, for example.
Yeah, I can add on that. I want to share briefly, I think, about the Solana ecosystem as a newcomer. I think what I love the most is like people value hard work and delivery, and if you show up, right? Like that's a very basic rewards system within the culture of the ecosystem, and because of that, we don't care where you come from, who you are, what's your background. As long as you come, you deliver something, and you show up, and maybe you fail, but you do it again, and that people will slowly start to identify you, value you as something for a specific expertise, or just as a human being, as a guy or girl. And then I think that's the beauty of it. Like, and I think that's why the ecosystem is open. There is the technical part that Ansel said, but the culture part is like, just come, do, and people will slowly recognize you and value you. And I built companies in different ecosystem and also in the corporate world. Like, for instance, making a partnership is really hard. But on Solana, if you are introduced by the right person, you just hop on a Telegram chat, have a call, and next day you can announce a partnership. That's insane if you think about it. It's really insane. So, but that comes if people trust you, if you're introduced by the right person. And to do that, you need to be constant and to show up.
Cool. That's a perfect intro. And just in a 2 weeks, I believe, the breakpoint is about to start. And that's probably the best place to do some partnerships, connections. Do you guys are going to visit breakpoint?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But that's I mean,
yeah,
I think that's actually a very good point. Like, for example, breakpoint is a place where if you want to do networking, you need to plan in advance. It's not like you show up and people come to you. It doesn't work like that. I mean, maybe after 4 years, but it's more like, friends and stuff. But if you want to close partnerships, you have to start talking with people before and, say like, oh, let's grab a coffee at breakpoints, in a month, in 2 weeks or something. That's really super important because everybody is like busy AF, and like they won't have time for like, you just say, oh yeah, let's just lock 1 hour of my 2 days in Abu Dhabi for you. That's not gonna work. So yeah, you really want to prepare that in advance. I think that's important.
Yeah, we have a big delegation this year. Like 3 person from Komeka team is going, and they're like professionals in doing what they do. But also, like about 15 builders are about to join, and those are people who are going first time, and they're really scared of how to approach people, how to talk, how to connect. What should I say? How do I just approach a person and say, "Hi, I'm doing that"? How can I do that? Because he'll probably send me away, and people are about to scare. Do you have some advices on how to network, how to build connections on the ERL events?
Yeah, I can share on that. First, you need to have like one sentence that is summarizing who you are and what you do, and that you improve it along the way. But basically, you need to come up with this short thing, and you need to know that networking is like, it needs to be a 50-50 connection. Like, you need to know how to ask questions, how to be genuinely curious and interested in the other person, so that the other person slowly opens up and asks a question back. I think that's like, some people think go to networking and grab the attention of someone and talk for like 10 minutes. It doesn't work like that. It's like you talk for 20 seconds, you think about the question, then you build up on that, and then then after 10 minutes you just find a way to collab or not, but let's keep in touch, and you get the telegram, and then you move on, because everyone wants to meet many people. So you cannot just go to someone and block this person kind of in the event. So you need also to know exactly when is a good kind of timing to say, okay, let's keep in touch about that, let's follow up on that. Try to identify something that can be a win-win for this small chat and the two different companies, and then move on and define like a follow-up. Quickly follow up with a note so that you remember, and then let the other one have next round and go to your next round. But it's a networking event, which means everyone wants to network. So if you go to someone and say, hey, hi, I'm Sofiane from Legends.fun, I'm doing that, how are you? And you go with a smile, you ask a question, then no one will reject you. So you cannot have this fear of rejection, but it takes time and experience just to be confident with that. But it's I'm confident that your 15 builders will do super well. Just go show up with a smile, have one sentence on what you do, know how to ask questions, and you will improve along the way. And keep contact, and it will be so valuable for the next years, even based on what you will do.
With legends growing big, even this year, some of them can come and say, "Hi, I'm Serhai, and I was on a Legends.fun leaderboard," and we actually pitch with them. And next year, it will be even bigger, so people can just brag with that. And it will
we are fighting and working every day for that to happen. That would be an amazing thing to happen.
Yeah, sure. And also one of the advices people usually have is when you approach the person, you had a first chat and then do a photo and send in Telegram. So later on, you can follow up on that and say, "Hey, we've been on the breakpoint together." Is it annoying or is it a normal practice?
I mean, I guess it depends on the people you want to do the selfie with, but I think most of the time that works. I know the VCs love to do that, They just love to take a picture with you just to remember your face. But yeah, I don't know. I don't do it personally because I know many people in the ecosystem like privacy, right? Even more right now. But I think one hack I could share is like one thing that works well is to go to the Raposa coffee booth, where they do the coffee basically. And just hang there, talk with the guy that do the coffee, and most of the time you have to wait for your coffee. Somebody else comes by, and you can just start. If they order something, you say, "Oh yeah, you got the latte. Yeah, it's a very good latte, right?" And boom, you just get started. And I think it's just about saying like you're not here to sell yourself. You're here to do connections, to talk with people. And like Sofiane said, everybody, like 100%, maybe more of the people here want to chat. That's it. They don't, It's just like the happy, end of the year ceremony at school. Everybody here, everybody's super happy. Everybody's bullish on Solana. I mean, this is the best place to talk with people, I think.
And think win-win. Think one value. What can you give as a short value? Oh, you know what? Oh, I can connect you with these other guys I talked 2 hours ago, 2 hours before. Like, think about something to offer first. Give first, and that's the best. And last thing, a book that really changed my life is called How to Talk to Absolutely Anyone by Mark Rhodes. So you can download that as an ebook and read that before going there, because it unlocked massive things in my business life and personal life. And I think that that's a really good advice here.
Bookmark this advice. It's really cool. And what also cool with Solana is that there are like two camps on Solana. First, you have Mert, who is pushing the idea of if you are one builder and you want to connect, you have to drink alcohol and you have to party and be connected to people in that way. And also, there is in the other camp, people who are doing yoga, who are sporty, doing ice baths and going to different Solana events connected to that. And it's really cool because you can go to the event and find the perfect person who is sharing your beliefs, your ideas, and it will be totally fine to speak about ice baths or the alcohol and go on with that.
And if you're a real warrior, you can even go to the events at night, get drunk, and then go for the run at 7 a.m. in the morning before the breakpoint opens up.
The ultimate shot.
The the Iron Solana man and woman.
What camp are you guys? Do you support Mert or you support ice bathing?
I would say I'm personally in the middle. Like I think both are cool. Like and like you said, you meet with different kind of people, which I think is really cool. But from my experience, many people do both. Like we can be doing yoga in the morning and go get some drinks at night. I think there's a good measure of stuff on Solana too. It's like it's fine to do both. Everybody respects what everybody else is doing. So now, I mean, I'm kind of like in the both kind of like 50-50 team, but not 100% yoga. Like I don't really care about yoga, but no, I do both, absolutely.
Yeah, the balance is really crucial in life.
Yeah.
And while we have a few more minutes, I will ask, there are plenty of side events. So you can join in Abu Dhabi, different trading events, some validators events, marketing events, financial events, plenty of them. And people usually do like that. They book everything on Luma. They join every event, and then if they get allowed, they will probably attend and they'll probably join. But in fact, it's probably a really complicated thing to do. Do you have experience on that? Can you share some advices? How many side events you can actually visit, and is it worth to try to catch everything?
Okay, actually, I wanted to talk exactly on that point. So it's like work on your FOMO. Like if you go there with a FOMO, like I want to talk to everyone or do everything, first you will be frustrated because like it's literally impossible. But second, you will be less present when you have a conversation, because back in your mind you will be like, oh, I need to go to this better event, or there is another person I should talk to, and then you will actually look less engaging and less, authentic. It can really destroy the chat you're having at the real moment. So go all, as I shared, it's okay to switch after 10 minutes, like 5 minutes. Everyone is doing that, so don't worry, you can always do that. But don't do it too fast, or be genuinely interested and curious, and don't have in the back of your mind there is a next event, or there is maybe a better person that I should talk to because it's a better opportunity for me, and so on. So be authentic and don't work on your FOMO.
Yeah.
Awesome. We have in the second space, we are trying to inscribe this tradition with asking a quick question. It's like blitz. But before that, I would ask you, do you guys have some really cool advices for people joining Solana or trying to build? Please don't start building, because it's hard and you will fail and probably succeed after 3 years. But something that will be helpful for people joining us now and will join, especially probably as for students go, because now Solana and the whole ecosystem is focusing on young people who are just getting first connection, first touch to blockchain, and they need that. They want to hear something from OGs that will inspire them. Let's start with Ansel.
Yeah, I mean, I think like the reason I joined blockchain is still valid today for me. I mean, I still think it's. I mean, the reason I did is fine. I think like there are a few areas right now in the world where you can actually make a difference. I think blockchain and Solana is one of those. We see a lot of amazing applications in like countries where, for example, payments and holding a currency that's at least a little bit stable is hard. And Solana and stable coins are bringing this kind of like life-changing tools to those people. And whether you build like whatever you're building, like you're helping all of this like use case get to as many people as possible. So I guess that was my reason to join Solana, is like, can we really build the new financial system? And I'm not saying that it will be fair for everybody and that everyone will have a chance to become rich or whatever. It's more like, can we make sure that the tools that we use and the tools that many people use in the world, the privileged people use, can be accessible by anyone, can be cheap to use, and that you can be at the center of all of that, building stuff that change people's life. I think that's why I joined Solana 4 years ago. And I would say, yeah, that's still valid. And also, like, you work with amazing tech. Like, the technology is amazing. I don't think there's a better, maybe AI, but AI is so hard to penetrate. But Solana is very good tech. Like the center, the core itself, built by the Enza team, is an amazing piece of technology. And you, as a programmer, for example, you get to really touch cutting edge technology to be synchronizing message all across the world in less than 400 milliseconds. And if you're more like a product person, I think there's a trove of usage to be found that have not been found yet. And every year, somebody comes up with a project and you're like, wow, yeah, that's a great idea. Like, crazy that nobody thought of that before. And I think that's going to accelerate. And for that to happen, the one thing we need is young people. Like, those are the only ones that can build the B2C, like the business to customers application that will actually change the way people interact with their life. Why do you install a new application on your phone? That's a huge investment for most people. So how can we make sure that we build stuff that people cannot live without, and that actually make their life easier and more comfortable? That would be my 2 cents.
Perfect. Thanks, Ansel. What about you, Sofian? Do you have something to say on that?
When I was a student, I did a lot of hackathons actually, and won some of them in the earliest startup Web2 scene, and it unlocked amazing opportunities. Like I was able to meet designers, developers, find a team to create our first startup, and access amazing rewards. Like talk to a CEO of the biggest companies, and like so. I think it puts you in the move and the mindset. That you create network, you meet people that you can create your next company with, etc. So that's just for the student part. Then for what to do or many cool stuff we use on Web2, and usually Web3 can add an additional layer, ownership, permissionless, privacy, and I think that's where a lot of teams are building this way. There is this amazing tool, like e-commerce or gaming app, and thanks to Solana, we can make it much better. So I think that I would more look like to this, and also first get inspiration about what's the playground. So of course you can do that on legends.fun and check out, what are the projects, what are the top performing projects, be inspired by what works, what you want to copy and improve, or what you should not do because there are too many of them in the ecosystem already, and then pick your battle. But you have time. You can try something, as Ansel said, destroy it next month. 1,300 products, I think, for this Colosseum. So we don't have the stats, but in 6 months or 12 months, how many are alive? The startup life is very limited.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I will just add up on that. Super teams, I usually do this statistics when local teams have to collect what happened with projects who got funded or got grants, Insta grants, and there is not just are they alive or did they die quickly, but there is a full funnel where you mentioning how many people they reached. Do they transform this product to something else? Does this builder still with Solana and trying to do something else? So every mistake, every dead project is just a soil for new projects to grow, and that's totally fine. And I hope we will see even more fails to help Solana grow bigger next years. And guys, I thank you very much for this space. Let's finish it with a quick blitz. I don't know what questions we have today on the list, because the whole team was a lot of jokes, a lot of mess ups, but it works like that. We will start with Ansel, then continue with Sofian. I will have 5. I hope I will have 5 for each of you. And it's just 2 options, and you pick one. Let's, and as I said, let's start with Ansel. So, Sol or USDC?
Sol, every day.
Legends or crafts?
I don't know what craft, but legends, yeah.
Building or grinding?
Building, yeah.
Privacy or transparency?
Transparency.
Peach or sheep?
That's a tough one.
Sheep.
Okay, and the last one for you is Hackathon or Netflix?
Netflix.
Just today, the Stranger Things last season.
And right.
Netflix couldn't handle all of the people trying to watch it, and it crashed. So probably on the weekends we will have the opportunity. So, let's go with you. I have 5 questions to you, and let's start with community-driven or VC-backed.
Community-driven first.
Ship fast or ship perfect?
That's an easy one. Ship fast.
Xenia is really funny today. Bear market or bull market?
I will not say anything on that.
DeFi or NFTs?
DeFi.
Okay, and the last one for you, NFTs or memes?
NFTs.
Cool.
Controversially.
Guys, it was a perfect space for me. I hope people find a lot of valuable stuff on today's 1-hour meeting, and thank you a lot for that. I hope to soon too.
Thank you, man. That was amazing. Super happy to be doing those with Kumeka. So yeah, thank you for having us.
Thank you, Seri, and thank you, Xenia, for organizing that. We're super looking forward to meeting you and the builders at Breakpoint. That would be super cool to catch up there. And yeah, it's a new collab, like very recent, but so far it's been really amazing to work with you guys and do some cool stuff together. So hope to see more of that next month. And thank you for the time, the invite, everything, and hi to all the Kumeka community that checked this video. And let's meet soon.
Same here. And for you guys, drop the follow to Legends.Fun, drop the follow to Ansel and Sofian as well. And looking forward for more great events from Legends.Fun. And just keep building, guys. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.